Hey everyone, it's Balance, and I am here with. Hold on, let me just go ahead and get this unmuted. With Kanye, Aaron,
Hi,
and Nancy.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey chat.
If you guys could introduce yourselves, go right ahead, please. Let's start with going from the top. Kanye.
Uh, uh, hi, I'm Kanye. Hisnokami. I'm an artist, animator, voice actor, singer, writer. I do a lot of things. I love Type Moon, and this is gonna be awesome.
All right, Aaron.
Hi, it's Erin, aka ErynCerise. I do things online sometimes, intermittently. There are dogs in the room right now.
That's okay. Everyone's used to my own dogs. And Nancy, if you could too.
Hi everyone. I am Nancy. I am a voice actor professionally, and I just like hanging out and playing video games. So thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Excellent. Well, it's been a long time, too long of a time since the last time we did this, but I think we all concluded that it was honestly a really good experience for you guys. But I mean, Kanye and I were already familiar with the story, but but I do remember that Aaron and Nancy, you two also really liked the story and the writing and the music as well.
Yes.
So are you guys excited to get back into it?
Yeah.
Yep. My little heart is so ready for all these emotions.
We'll see what sort of emotions that we'll be going through soon. So let me go ahead and stop the music there, as we'll be experiencing the lovely music of Mahoyo. So right before I do that, I should change the category to which on the Holy Night. We're no longer fishing, unfortunately. All right. And with that said, time to go ahead and start the game. And I will put it up on Discord so that you guys will get a live view rather than a delayed view on stream. Okay. And there it is.
Type Moon. It feels like it should have one.
Just like how they do with Sega.
Yeah, with like Sega or PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Did they do that with PlayStation? I'm trying to remember.
In the commercials anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, they did it in the
It had a
commercials.
little
They didn't.
chime when it came up,
Yeah,
at least.
PlayStation, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we did all of chapter 1. God, this
I
music. I'm
believe
sorry.
so.
Hold on. This is just so good. Good music like this just gets me all the time.
It's so good.
So if we go to archive, this is the cool part that it shows you like
You can recap?
Yeah. It's a visual novel. Of course you can recap.
Well, not all visual novels let you have like a nice recap.
Well, this is a good visual novel.
Obviously.
Well, there you go then.
Damn. My expectations, they have been raised.
All right.
I already had high expectations.
All right, so just like last time, we'll probably just go through it, just through whatever comes up. I don't remember how they appear as they come, so I'll assign out roles as they appear. And so to start off, Kanye, if you could do the narration, that would be great.
Yeah.
And then you and I, we can switch off, or we'll all switch off at some point. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So everyone else that's watching, get some popcorn, get some tea, or something nice to drink. Because this is going to be a lovely time. Or will it?
Oh god.
All right. Little happening of last night. So maybe to recap, last time we had just got our Aoko had just gotten back home after having to deal with Sojiro, that socially really awkward mountain living bum, and she got tired. And I think it left off where Alice, her roommate, had already gotten food, and they were really upset about that. But in the end, Aoko kind of shot herself on the foot because she kind of had it coming. So I think this is now moving on past that to kind of go about more of what's going on later. So anyway, Kanye, if you could go ahead and start us off.
The city is really strange, but a pretty easy place to live once you get the hang of it. The song. Stojiro sighed listlessly. He looked down at the winter schoolyard below, lost in thought. December was written on the corner of the chalkboard. He could not believe 10 days had already passed since he transferred to the school. The last vestiges of autumn had faded with the change of the month. The trees were all but barren, and the ground below them a mat of fallen leaves. Fourth period was classics. An elderly teacher at the lectern rambled on. While he had finally gotten used to the classroom, he still had a long way to go to get up to speed in his classes. Lacking even the basic understanding most students learn in their early scholastic life, it was a battle for Sojiro to keep up. Even if he was unable to grasp all of the content right away, he at least tried to memorize everything in the hope that he could make use of it down the road. Which is why losing himself in his thoughts was about the last thing he should have been doing. He would normally chastise himself for daydreaming, but
Oh, right. I'll just do Sojiro for a little bit.
troublingly, he was unable to concentrate in class today. Sojiro could not place the source of his lack of concentration. It could not have been the winter in the city. It was much milder than in the mountains. Either was his part-time job particularly tiring. He was not any more physically fatigued than the average student, so that could not be it either. Others might conclude that it was because the courses were boring, but that seemed off the mark too. Sojiro did not share his classmates' opinion about their classes. On the contrary, he rather enjoyed his class time. No, his frame of mind was not to blame either. Trying to figure out what was wrong only made him more depressed.
What's wrong with me? Oh wait, hold on. I need to do this. What's wrong with me? It's not like me to be so distracted. What? Why? Oh, so let me drink my tea. Okay, I'm doing that. Thank you. Thank you.
He scolded himself and turned his attention to the chalkboard. The rhythmic ticks of the chalk were sending him into a slumber, but he somehow managed to resist their lullaby. And yet, he was still unable to focus on the class. Sojiro reflected silently, as was his custom, and sighed inwardly. Deep down, he knew the real source of his agitation. The events of the previous night were the only thing it could be.
Alright, next up, we'll have Aaron.
With a chime... Oh, to narrate?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I thought you meant there was a character coming.
No, sorry.
With the chime to signal the end of class, the teacher bowed and exited into the hallway. To see him off, the 30 or so students all stood up from their desks. The clock, which had seemed to slow dramatically around 11:30, now struck noon. The tension seemed to fade from the room all at once. The release from a difficult lesson was the start of the lunchtime, the highlight of school life. Yes, the lunchtime.
The
Mm,
lunchtime.
Definite article.
True.
The lunchtime.
Misaki High's cafeteria was not particularly well known for its quality of food. Complaints that the quality was below that of a private school went unheeded. And the same unique flavors appeared on the menu each and every day. Private school prices, coupled with subpar quality, led to the majority of students to opt for boxed lunches instead.
I would be pissed. Honestly.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
What are my dollars paying for? What is
Yeah.
my yen paying for?
Well, in this economy, apparently nothing now. It's so tragic to see their yen go down
Oh,
and
yeah.
down.
It's like
Oh.
the 80s or 90s.
Hmm.
Sojudo's Class 2C was no exception. The boys muscled as many as 10 desks into what resembled a long dining table. Conversely, the girls divided themselves into smaller tables of 2 or 3 desks with practiced ease and started chatting within their cliques. Not a single student wasted even a second of their precious lunchtime. Where both sides differed in method, they shared a common goal. Sojudo was struck dumb by the efficiency of the transformation. Even after 10 days, he was unable to keep pace with the rest of the class and remained seated where he had sat during the previous period.
You do this one, Kanye.
Hey, Shizuki, over here.
The voice came from the large makeshift dining table near the window.
Let go.
Kosuke Akinomi was beckoning him over while leaning back in his chair in a way that looked like he could fall backward at any second. He was regularly shot down by others in the class for being lazy and crass, but his earnest nature kept him from getting on anyone's bad side. Though something could be said for not being so forthcoming all the time, too.
Time's a wasting. Let's eat. I've got a bunch of leftover spring rolls from yesterday, but when my dad saw them, he told me I shouldn't waste them. So that's the only thing I've got.
It seemed his endgame was to find someone who might take pity on him and trade him for something better. The two of them worked at the same restaurant, so he was one of the few people Sojudo knew before starting school. He was also the reason Sojudo was able to learn the true meaning of the phrase, "can't live with him, can't live without him."
I'll just do this one. Yeah, Shizuki, get your butt over here. It's the long-awaited canned food festival today.
Canned food festival.
You do this one, Nancy.
So, we're really going through with this? We're absolutely sure we want to do this?
Do this one, Kanye.
You bet your ass we are. Sure, this stuff is processed to hell, but all the canned crab you can eat? This ain't no sardines in a can, dude. Sardines in a can, dude.
Aaron, do this one.
You for real? Then hell yeah, count me in! Is there enough corned beef for everyone, or is it first come, first serve?
I think it's him talking
Yeah.
this time. So Kanye.
That's not something you can eat a ton of, you know. Only the first can tastes any good.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, do this one again, Kanye. I think it's still him.
With Shizuki on board, we'd be at an even 7 cans apiece. What a lifesaver.
Nancy.
So, what's up with your lunch, Kinomi? It looks harder than the cans.
The boys usually passed the time by making fun of each other's lunches, but today they were united against a common foe. A pyramid of countless cans stood in the middle of the table.
So I just have to say, Aaron, I think you genuinely have a good voice for like audiobook stuff.
I've been told that.
Yeah.
Definitely should look into that.
They had all been taken from the pantry of a certain student's house, and the expiration dates on them had all been scribbled out with a marker.
Go ahead, Kanye.
All right, lads. Everyone got your can openers? Eating them sucks. No one likes leftovers, but these metal demons must be slain at all cost, even if it means missing 5th period. Oh, and a special thanks to our sponsors downtown McCoy and Nakayama Market.
Yeah, baby, let's eat!
Great! Yeah!
The
That
boys
worked really
united
well.
as one and hoisted their can openers into the air.
Nancy, do this one.
Eat up, Shizuki! There's enough can openers to go around.
I thought I told you yesterday that I'm not interested in being your taste tester. And besides, at least half of those cans are past their expiration dates.
Aw, come on, live a little.
Quite an inexplicably excited group of guys. Their real motivation seemed to be to spread the pain.
Oh yes, high school boys,
Mm,
without a doubt.
gotcha.
That's so real.
But moved by their energy and conceding defeat, Sojudo got up from his seat and joined them. And before he could,
Kanye, do this.
Hey, give it a rest, why don't you? Forget them, Shizuki. Come eat it with us.
Oh, maybe these are the girls, maybe? We'll see.
maybe
They are.
another interested party joined the fray. A girl with short but stylish hair had called out to him.
Okay, Nancy, if you could take this next thing.
She had also tried to get Sojudo to join the track and field club several days earlier.
Thanks for the offer, but I'd rather not.
He answered with a troubled look on his face. On their table was nothing but a pile of fruit Sojudo had never seen before.
What? Why? You don't like papayas? We've got mango and coconut if you want something else. And don't tell anyone. But we even got a Yubari melon.
Okay, I need to know what a Yubari melon is.
Is that like the really expensive type of melon?
This is just like Suika.
I think it's, yeah, like the Suika
It's
melon.
like a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
Is
can
that-
see why they're like,
Don't tell anyone.
Like
yeah,
a really good cantaloupe, apparently.
I think so. First thing that says, why are Yubari melons so expensive? Okay. That adds so much more context.
The members of the fruit group pumped their fists in unison at the last delicacy. I like that they're the fruit group.
Aaron, can you do... Wait, no, this is probably the boys. So, Kanye, if you could.
What? Coconuts? Can you even eat those?
Aaron, do this one.
I'd like a mango if you have any extra.
I'll do this one. Idiots! Me! Anything else, eating anything else is just gonna make you weak!
Sojudo couldn't keep track of all the voices flying across the room.
All I know is that nothing good will come out of either of these choices.
That being said, he found it difficult to refuse them outright. His tendency to accept others' goodwill at face value occasionally left him frozen with indecision. Not accustomed to regular human interaction, he was unable to judge when it was or was not appropriate to turn someone down.
Me too.
Someone tapped the lost little lamb on the shoulder.
You can go ahead and do this one, Kanye.
Don't mind them. If you get involved with every idiot who invites you to do something, you'll mess up your whole life. It's okay to turn them down, you know. And you guys, stop trying to lead this good soul over to the dark side.
An inappropriately loud voice echoed throughout the classroom behind him.
Vice President.
Sojudo turned around to see a boy about a head taller than him. His long hair, while unkempt, had been brushed back, giving it an appealingly windswept look. His attractive features belied the contempt for the classroom his eyes carried. Unlike the perpetually dopey-looking Sojiro, he was an extremely attractive boy, capable of captivating anyone who had so much as glanced at him.
Thoughts? Is he attractive to you guys?
He's got looks.
90% there.
Did you base your model off him?
What? No. No, actually. Damn, okay.
That's crazy.
In the initial drafts that I did with someone that I hired to do character design, it was initially going to be with no bangs, but I didn't want to be like the typical Asian with large ass forehead, so I opted for bangs. But I can kind of see the
His hair
appeal.
just needs to be either like a couple shades lighter or a couple shades darker. It's the shade of the hair that's throwing me off, I think.
Hmm.
You think so?
Yeah.
But it's appealingly windswept.
It is appealingly windswept is the thing.
I do like the appealingly windswept look.
Yeah, that windswept is very appealing for sure.
But it works best with either like a platinum blonde or like a tall, dark, and handsome.
Hmm.
True, very true.
Not so much the like bland brunette.
We've been reading too many webtoons.
That is true.
All right. Thank you for your guys' opinions.
In most cases, such a boy's presence would be met with awe and respect. However,
Go for this one, Nancy.
Oh, look. Our mighty vice president has graciously decided to pay us a visit.
Kanye?
I thought you were going to take up residence in the cafeteria, so you wouldn't have to see our stupid faces anymore.
Aaron?
have you lost your way, Your Highness? You're slumming where the commoners eat gruel from their troughs. Shouldn't you be sipping tea with the babes from Class A?
You all nailed it so perfectly. I'm so happy. I'll do this one. Why did you leave Shizuki alone, huh? Oh, wait. Maybe it's him? Oh, no. Never mind.
No,
It is First, Lady Aoko has it in for him. Now His Highness too? What could he have done to earn the attention of such royalty? Going back down. Kanye?
Really? But Shizuki's such a goody two-shoes. He's never broken any rules. Well, the rules of school, at least.
Nancy?
Wait! Could it be that Tsukiji really switched teams after Aozaki rejected him?
They continued to give him a hard time. Sojiro could not help but feel sorry for him. The class vice president, on the other hand, showed absolutely no reaction whatsoever. He glared at them with a bored look and simply raised his voice.
Kanye.
You freaks should get some new material. Why don't you spend your time more productively for once, like helping out with the special winter cleaning team? Yeah, you heard me. Only one student in the entire school has signed up so far. Having all of Class C with us would be a huge help, but I guess you want me and Aozaki to do all the work.
The menacing growl in his voice contrasted greatly with the boy's well-constructed looks. Both Team Canned and Team Fruit's words were doused like a fire being smothered. This was partly due to their fear of the boy, but mostly due to their fear of the Special Winter Cleaning Team. Yes, the Special Winter Cleaning Team. Joining meant spending part of your winter break cleaning up the old school building and mountainous rear courtyard that had been neglected by the previous two student councils. It was a form of legalized torture that could potentially ruin 3 whole days of your winter break. And forget about any compensation in the form of extra credits. No, it was pointless volunteer work for a student council project. It was practically a miracle that they had found even a single volunteer.
So, an interesting little side thing. For me in high school, you actually had to do a little, if I remember correctly, there was a little bit of actual volunteering you had to do in order to graduate, if I recall.
Me too.
Mm,
Me too.
What
I
about
don't remember if we did.
you, Kanye?
Nah, my school's like American as possible. We did do jack shit. We just left things as it were. Well, I helped stay behind and like volunteer to clean. I got extra points because I was a good boy.
You were a good boy.
Who's a good boy? Okay, sorry.
I will kill you in Minecraft. I will strangle you.
Bring
that
back
escalated.
CG of Tsukiji screaming.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Aaron, wait, you just read.
Sorry, we're not clearly not fit enough. Yeah, that's it. That stuff takes conditioning. We'll just eat our canned food in the corner now, okay?
Nancy?
Yeah, us too. We're anemic, you see, and if we don't eat this fruit, we'll die. That, and we already have plans or something.
All of the students but one scuffled away.
That's much better. Lunchtime is best in silence. I'm tired of people complaining that you guys make even more noise than the freshmen. Get it together, you losers.
The mob meekly scurried away. Sojiro turned to join them, but as he did,
Hold on, Sojiro. You're with me.
the hand on his shoulder held him in place.
I'll do this one. Jeez, who does the student council think they are anyway? Barging into our classroom to lecture us on table manners?
Kinomi cursed him under his breath to his friends the second the vice president turned to go.
What was that, Kinomi? Oh, you want to become our second volunteer? Perfect! I'll make it the best winter vacation you've ever had.
The vice president must have heard everything Kinomi said, because he gave a thumbs up before figuratively jabbing it in his eye.
Yo, is this guy for real? This is voluntary, isn't it? It ain't voluntary if you gotta force people to do it. Am I right?
The problem child of Class C laughed merrily.
That was yesterday. The school has since accepted the president's approval that council members be able to forcibly enlist students for participation. And recommendations by the president and vice president are ironclad. Refusing them means breaking school rules in addition to facing Aozaki's wrath, which, let me tell you now, I won't be able to stop.
What? You're hanging me by the balls here. This is extortion or blackmail or something.
Kinomi's terrified shrieking continued behind them as the vice president and Sojiro left the classroom.
All right, next up in narration is going to be Nancy. Well done, by the way, Aaron.
Well done.
Yeah.
Loved
That was
it.
awesome.
Still you, Kanye.
What am I going to do with you, Sojiro?
With me? Aren't you busy with other things, Vice President?
The two entered the empty student council room. Misaki High's student council had the use of two rooms. One was a large office specifically made for the student council. The second was an archive room, once used as a preparatory office for math courses.
That is a hard word to say.
Preparatory is
I believe
not
you'll
an
find it's
oft-used word.
preparatory.
Yeah. It's not an often used word, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Specifically for math, though, like, dang.
I
Gotta
may have
get those
seen this
numbers
word,
in.
like, twice in my life.
Never much. Yeah, 40 hours of volunteering sounds about right to me, too.
Mhm.
As the latter of the two, the walls were lined with densely packed shelves, making an already cramped room seem even more confined. For this reason, it served more as a private refuge to the student council. The two students sat across from one another. Tobimari Tsukiji. He was the son of the chairman of Misaki High School and the vice president of its school council. Like Sojiro, he was in his second year and first met the transfer student a week earlier when the task of looking after him was dumped onto the student council.
I told you to stop calling me that. You may as well call me the president's dog. You'd have to take from her.
As self-deprecating as his words were, he hardly seemed dissatisfied with the arrangement. He took a snack from his pocket and grimaced at it before taking a bite.
What are you eating?
Yeah, what are you eating? I want to know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The 100-calorie energy bar sacrificed flavor for efficacy. I thought it was going to say efficiency. Efficacy, but somehow not enough to prevent him gnawing on it like a piece of jerky.
I think this is a Calorie Mate.
Oh gosh.
Have you guys ever eaten Calorie Mate?
No.
It sucks.
It tastes awful.
Sounds like it sucks.
It
They
does.
try to give it chocolate flavor, but that doesn't work.
You ever try it, Kanye?
No, I'm glad.
So I think there's something similar to it in Daiso, if there's ever a place near you guys. And I think they call it calorie balance, and it is just as chalky and horrible.
Is it shaped like you?
Then that's just actual trash. That's not even calorie based. It's just you're just eating junk.
You just called it calorie balance.
That was the name of it. That was the name of it. Okay, I'm looking this up. Okay. Okay, yeah, look. Calorie balance.
Oh boy.
Right there. Calorie balance. Oh god, I remember
Calorie
having
balance.
Can't do us a solid. We need someone to submit fan art of balance in a
As a calorie
balance
bar.
wrapper.
Yeah, as a calorie bar, please.
Oh man.
It's cheese flavored.
There was one that was cheese flavored. I think that one was a lot easier to eat. It still sucked because I think the thing that makes Calorie Mate horrible is its texture. And let me
Yeah.
tell you, it's like actually eating sand. I'm not joking.
It's like, yeah, and it's really dry, right?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there's not enough saliva in like your entire body to help you digest this. This is not.
Yeah,
It's
if for whatever reason in your life you're like, man, my mouth just feels like it's flooding with saliva. Just eat a Calorie Mate.
eat a calorie mate.
Then you'll wish you still had some saliva left over because I swear to God, it will suck it all out.
I feel like calorie mate is like the perfect way to make you hate the act of eating. If that was the only thing you could eat, you would just never want to eat.
And I don't even know if it's like good as an energy bar. I mean, I think it does actually help you stay satiated for a little while. But there are certainly better ways of going about it now since they have better calorie bars these days.
Do that.
Yeah, like you could literally just buy like a flat of those what are those smoothies called? I can't remember, but they're the ones that we usually give people at the hospital if they need something like a liquid food to be a meal replacement for them and they're not getting enough
those.
calories.
Like Go-Gurt.
No.
I mean, that's probably the worst one. But
You know, they're Ensure. Ensure is one of them.
Ah,
Boost
yeah,
is
yeah,
another
sure
one.
is.
Like those, yeah.
Yeah, those. Like those are far better meal tasting meal replacements than this.
Yeah,
For
the
sure.
strawberry
Galactic is
ones.
spoiling at that point.
Jeez.
well,
No
I'm,
wonder he's got that expression on his face.
yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that knows about Calorie Mate. Anyway, let's move on.
Food-based trauma.
I see what you're saying, Toby Maru, but being a dog isn't exactly a good thing. God.
Sojiro sat in the chair with a concerned look on his face.
Huh? What's wrong with dogs?
I like how he's so focused on trying to eat the calorie mate that he just did not process anything that was being said. Dogs aren't good. Oh, holy cow. Who? What? 여보세요? Oh. Gotta follow. Dimitri Star. Thank you for accidentally hitting the follow button.
That's my friend. Awesome.
Oh, it's your
Hello.
friend. Hello, friend.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
Hope you enjoy Kanye's voice acting and narration too. But anyway, hope you enjoy your time. Let's move on. It's bad. Oh, right. I didn't actually finish reading that. It's a bad comparison in the first place, but dogs are way scarier.
You grew up in the mountains and you're still afraid of dogs?
I'm afraid of most animals, but dogs are in a class of their own. A pack of wild dogs is particularly terrifying. They're as tenacious as they are fast. No matter where you run, they'll chase you as long as there's still life left in them.
Sojiro opened his lunch as he spoke. Inside the bright green cloth, 3 beautifully made triangular rice balls. I had a bright green cloth lunch bag.
It's you for real, for real.
True. Would you look at that?
Look at what? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just that those are some special looking rice balls you've got there.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm trying to compliment you, you idiot.
Sojiro was always confounded by phrasing that could be interpreted in multiple ways. Euphemisms and subtle sarcasm were often lost on him.
So girls cannot flirt with him. Got it.
Got it!
That's his autism. Be nice to him.
Oh,
It's Autism
jeez.
Awareness Month coming up.
True. We stand to support Sojiro Shizuki.
It was only on rare occasions, like this one, that he chose to confirm what was being said. Tobimaru had come to suspect that Sojiro had a very black and white way of seeing things.
Say, does that hard chunk of flour looking stuff taste any good? No.
Sojiro stared at the energy bar with a curious look on his face.
It's not meant to taste good. You can try it if you want. People shouldn't hold back when it comes to the 3 base desires.
Tobimaru quickly finished off his bar, put another one on the table, and grabbed one of Sojiro's rice balls.
Yeah.
Sojiro failed to notice the rudeness of the forced exchange and gave the preferred energy bar a try.
It
Look at his face.
is exactly what Nancy and I said. It kind of tastes like dirt.
Now you get it. It's what a joyless existence tastes like.
That's a good way of putting it, honestly.
Joyless. Out of principle, Sojiro labored over his energy bar, cringing all the while. He was both curious at the unknown and loath to leave something unfinished.
Don't force yourself to finish it right now. The whole point of it is that you can eat it on the run. And while the flavor isn't that great, at least it's consistent. Anyway, never mind that. Are you getting used to how things work around here?
Yes, you and Awazaki have been a huge help.
Tobimaru turned his eyes up to the ceiling, unable to handle Sojiro's carefree smile. As absent-minded as Sojiro might have been, his expressions were nonetheless incredibly earnest. It was like poison to someone as self-absorbed as Tobimaru.
Now you know why Aozaki goes so out of her way to avoid him.
He took a bite from the rice ball to steer himself away from such thoughts. Though now cold, the rice had managed to maintain its freshness, startling Tobimaru.
Huh? Wait a second. I'm the one that has your back. You know that, right? Aozaki told me you were too annoying to deal with.
Did I say something to upset you?
Don't you get it? I'm the only one helping you keep your head above above water. Aozaki sits in the student council room digging up dirt on other students. I'm the one who gets lumbered with crap jobs while she gets to...
Tobimaru stopped himself, realizing how ridiculous he sounded. Sojiro, rightly so, knew it was nothing to get this upset over.
Well, whatever. I'm only here because she told me to be. Do you know? You know why she stuck me with you?
Because you're in love with me? Because you're the vice president?
Tobimaru's handsome face went dark.
Do you really think it's normal for a student council vice president to waste all his time on a single transfer student? Whatever, man. Try asking her directly if you get the chance. You'll learn who she really is.
Oh, that was a smooth little animation move.
Right?
With the sprite.
Loved it. He snatched another bite of the rice ball while grumbling under his breath. There it was again. Rice grains that were just dry enough to be fresh and tender in the mouth. A morsel that betrayed its humble description, which must have been delicately molded by a master chef rather than haphazardly clumped into a ball, like the ones I make.
Just the right amount of salt, the subtlest of soy sauce, notes coming from the center. It doesn't just whet your appetite, it simulates the desired centers of your brain. And, oh, wow.
Tobimaru, you appear to be thinking out loud.
It's nothing. Just color me surprised. Hey, Sonoji. What's this feeling anyway?
Sonoji.
That's like the most freaking forced localization I've seen in a long time.
I just...
Yeah, what would
I-
the original be, even?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't remember, honestly.
I don't know.
Probably Sojiro-kun instead of like Sojiro-san.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he like tried to give him a little bit of a nickname and call him Soji-kun. Like shortened his name a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably.
It was only natural to inquire about the unexpectedly delicious bite. He had been nibbling around the edges and had not yet reached its center.
Oh, that would be Grasshopper.
No way!
The vice president choked on his cough.
So real talk, I've yet to try Grasshopper.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scarred.
Decent though.
Yeah, that's what I hear from everyone. Like, if it's cooked well, it actually tastes good. And it's really good protein, too.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm told it's kind of comparable to like shrimp.
So, oh, it's Lurie! Lurie! Lurie, have you eaten Grasshopper before?
Welcome to the stream, by the way.
Lurie, hi!
Is it not working? What? Oh,
Bing
whatever.
bong.
Or is it shout out? Oh, it worked. No. You have? Oh, how'd you like it? Anyway, before we go on, hi, my name is Balance. I do video editing, photography as a hobby, and every once in a while, I might do some voiceover stuff a little bit here and there. And yeah, so this is one of them. We are playing Witch on the Holy Night, which is a visual novel made from Type Moon. If any of you know any of the Type Moon stuff, this is supposed to be the prequel to Aozaki Aoko's story, before she got the really cool red hair and everything. The music and story of this thing is really, really amazing. So if you want to hear some nice narration from the team over here, which I have Hisnokami, ErynCerise, and Exdevlin, Kanye, Erin, and Nancy, then please feel free to stay because they have wonderful voices. They might lull you into sleep in a good way.
Yeah, stick around.
Ooh,
why
we're
don't you?
enchanting.
Let me
We're like
tuck you to
sirens.
sleep.
Except human.
I promise
You've
it'll
got
be
such
a good
wonderful
time.
delights to show you. I don't know what this voice is.
Hi, I'm Paul.
To answer your question, Lurie, the vice president just ate a rice ball that had grasshopper in the filling. And we were just talking about, like, I've yet
Just
to
had
try
grasshopper
grasshopper.
who has
Exactly.
one, yeah.
And it's good. So Aaron, it's funny that you mentioned it, and I'm just drawing parallels that don't really have any parallels, but the coworker I mentioned that also was on the autism spectrum, he said he's had grasshopper and he has like a bag that he's been meaning to bring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Powdered
okay.
grasshopper, I think.
Oh,
But I
Do
think
you
I just
like-
need to go out and find it myself.
powdered.
I've
That's
heard that
interesting.
it's nice to have them like dipped in chocolate. I've been kind of interested in trying those someday.
So, interesting thing about that, in one of the casinos that's near where my mother lives, in their like gift shop area, they actually do have chocolate covered grasshopper. And
Oh.
first it was like, and then it's like, but actually,
But
If you're
actually,
gonna, it might be a nice way to ease in.
yeah, you know, right?
Yeah. Could be.
Girl has had Scorpion before, bro. What?
We had
I've-
scorpion pizzas last summer at one of our big festivals, and apparently it was pretty okay.
This is just like Dungeon Meshi.
Dungeon Meshi.
I haven't seen today's episode. Oh, I need to do that
There's
later.
gotta be a reason that all the bugs in like the Lion King looked so tasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
True.
They're juicy.
Anyway, yes, thank you for the raid again, by the way, Lurie. If you're going to lurk, that's perfectly fine. I mean, streaming kind of takes a lot out of you, so I appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
well,
yeah.
Larry.
Take care.
Anyway, let's go on. Thank you again for the raid. So, the vice president choked on his cough because he just realized he had grasshopper.
Mm-hmm. He had assumed that Sojiro would prefer earthy ingredients instead of seafood on account of his mountain life, but he never expected he would use grasshoppers.
Damn it. You should have warned me for Sojiro. But man, was that delicious.
Oh, I was just joking.
They locked eyes for a moment.
Hey, he learned how to tell a joke.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's salmon. I would never eat grasshopper. It's Sojiro. You would never know.
Oh, right. Yeah. I knew that. Of course it wouldn't be Grasshopper.
Yeah, I mean, you can't find fresh grasshoppers in the city to begin with.
Oh my gosh. As curious as those words were, Tobimaru decided to let them go.
Jeez, Sojiro, that's not something to joke about. I'm gonna hurl or something?
Don't say bad things about Aozaki then. Oh, that's right.
Oof.
Hmm?
Sojiro closed his eyes as he continued to chew on his rice ball. Tobimaru watched incredulously as Sojiro made no attempt to hide his disapproval.
Boys in love.
Boy, poor boy.
Okay, that I can't let go. You're really saying you were taking revenge for Aozaki?
Sojiro continued chewing. The country boy's silent protest said all that needed to be said.
Gay? Unfortunately, it's not gay. Aozaki is
Not this time.
a very, very fiery girl. Like,
Bisexual.
Okay. Okay, spoilers?
Just throws that in the ring.
yeah.
The vice president suddenly looked like he'd been struck by lightning.
What the? Don't tell me you've fallen for Aozaki. You have, haven't you? Hey, I asked you a question, damn it.
Tobimaru flew out of his chair and violently shook Sojiro by the shoulders. Sojiro opened his eyes.
I forgot. You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened a year ago. Because if you did, you would be treading down this path of destruction, my friend.
You've got it all wrong, but that's okay. Tell me what happened a year ago first.
Tobimaru regained his composure and sat down after a moment's thought.
Okay, I'm not one to gossip, but for you, I'm making an exception.
Tobimaru reassured himself that it was in Sojiro's best interests as a young man to know.
It went down when Aozaki was a freshman. Everybody was new to high school, so nobody knew what anyone was like yet. Her included. She was a total babe. I mean, just look at her. All the guys were crazy for her.
Wait, that is narration. Little did they know that soon after, they would go crazy for an entirely different reason.
Yeah, it doesn't seem natural to make that narration, but anyway.
Yeah, no, sorry, it surprised me.
Yeah. First couple of months, the school descended into chaos. You gotta remember that early on in the year, no one cared about the class hierarchy. So tons of guys were fighting themselves over her. It was just insane. Just getting anywhere near Aozaki was next to impossible.
I don't understand. Why would that happen?
Cause that's what happens when 100 guys like the same girl. Duh. It would have taken Aozaki 3 months just to have lunch with them all individually. So, people decided to fight over who got to ask her out. They were all a bunch of losers if you ask me, but what happened next is the juicy part. Those who emerged from the conflict unscathed made their move. And though she might not seem like it, she is the type who likes to put up a guy down lightly. You know, because of their sincerity or courage or whatever. At any rate, she rejected all comes as politely as she could. But there was one guy who couldn't take a hint. It was a third year who just refused to give up. Maybe he was a little bit nuts. It's hard to see it any other way at this point.
Incidentally, Tobimaru decided to gloss over the fact that this student was also the former student council president.
Good that the audience gets let in on this.
Ugh.
But he didn't keep it up only at school. Later, he started following her home.
Oh, that's
That
not
must
okay.
have been the last straw because Aozaki wigged out, started packing in ways I'm not comfortable repeating out loud.
Wow.
Get him!
The conclusion? The student didn't just request to transfer, he tucked tail and left Misaki completely. Aozaki was sentenced to a month of house arrest. It came to be known as the Bloody Town Hall incident. She could tell you more about it than I can, but I wouldn't recommend asking her. Asked the school newspaper editor and said she loves a bit of gossip.
Wow, that is incredibly hot. No wonder I fell for her.
What?
No wonder.
Dog!
I thought you were scared of dogs.
Is that what the other guys mean when they say step on me, mommy?
Where did you learn that?
That's something he would say too. Tobimaru, I get the feeling you're not telling me everything.
Hey, you'd do the same if you were me. I may be the board chairman's son and all, but something's scary with me, and I want to graduate in one piece. That's my favorite manga book. You want me to freak out every time I see a girl in a school uniform?
Huh.
Sojiro tilted his head to the side in confusion. Tobimaru had lost him with that comment.
Well, whatever. What is it about Aozaki that... Oh, wait. No, that's actually Tobimaru.
Well, whatever. What is it about Aozaki that you like anyway?
He tilted his head again, this time to the other side.
Well, are you really that hot for her? 'Cause if your heart pounds in her presence, that could be caused by fear, you know? Tell me you aren't stupid enough to like her for no good reason.
He tilted his head even further. What Tobimaru was saying sounded off, but Sojiro decided not to press the matter. All the more because he found many of his own emotions towards Aoko Aozaki to be incomprehensible.
It is kind of strange, to be honest. I don't even know her that well.
That was because they had not truly spoken to each other since the day she showed him around. Every time Sojiro tried to talk to her, she immediately got up and left. As fate would have it, they ended up working together that recent Sunday, but made only idle chatter on the way back. And back.
There's something you don't know either, Tobimaru. Sometimes, I feel someone's gaze on me. And when I turn around to see who it is, she's there. Looking like she's worried about me. That I'll mess up. I know what you'll say. She just happened to see me in the hallway and was keeping an eye on me. Maybe she secretly wishes she could ignore me when we pass each other. But whatever the reason, I believe her concern is genuine. And that's the most important thing about all this. I believe that nature of hers has helped me out repeatedly.
His tone was measured and sincere. Tobimaru sighed with a tinge of regret. If not for those words, he could have introduced Sojiro to a more suitable girl with whom he could have lived out the rest of his school days in peace. He never went to such lengths for his other friends. Generally speaking, if it was of some benefit to him, he was unafraid of exploiting another. If they were of no use, he didn't bother getting involved with them. That was just how Tobimaru Tsukiji operated. Sojiro happened to be the type of person who provided no benefit to Tobimaru, yet somehow sparked in him a desire to help. It was not that friendship was completely alien to him. He just did not have many people he felt that close to. So if Sojiro had already fallen for Aoko, it was not his place, as a friend, to try and change his mind. That face.
Well, I guess it's true that love knows no reason.
I wouldn't say there's no reason for it. I can think of one at least. I thought she was beautiful the moment I first laid eyes on her.
Tobimaru's shoulders slumped.
After all that, you just like her for her looks? Listen to yourself, Sojiro.
What's wrong with appreciating beauty? I don't think there's anything wrong with judging someone by the physical appearance they worked so hard to create.
That sounded like sophism to Tobimaru, but he had no counterpoint to offer.
Alright, I get it. I'll let it go. It's none of my business who you go after anyway.
Now, Tobimaru was mistaken about one major point during this whole conversation. Namely, that Sojiro was not head over heels in love with Aoko and hoped they'd go steady with her. He merely liked her as a person. Nobody could have foreseen the massive calamity that would be caused by this simple misunderstanding.
I've just got one piece of advice for you, Sojiro. Just because Aozaki fights with someone doesn't mean she hates them, and just because she's nice to someone doesn't mean she likes them. I'm a prime example of that.
He spoke with such a pained sigh, as if opening old wounds from the past.
I see. What happened?
Long story short, she used to be really full of herself, and I once tried to hit her. That happened last summer. I had already been working with her in the student council for a year at that point, and saw her more like a fellow soldier in the trenches than as a girl. One day I lost my temper and I took a swing at her. I had to think I've got a mean right hook, and I slugged her pretty good, so I thought I won that round.
He had a distant look in his eyes as his words trailed off.
Then the next day, when I came to the student council room, I thought she'd be spoiling for a fight, but she was the same as always. And since then, we've simply continued working together as president and vice president.
Sojiro sighed at his story. He then said with absolute confidence,
So, you just wanted to brag about how close you two are?
clearly he had missed the point entirely.
Are you kidding me? How in the hell did you come to that conclusion after hearing a story like that? I'm telling you that from that day forward, I could never see her again as a woman.
Oh, I was mistaken?
A look of disappointment flitted across Sojiro's face. Tobimaru revised his opinion. Sojiro was something of a simpleton, but there was a quality to him that Tobimaru could not quite place.
Just take it from me. Her standards are anything beyond normal. She won't like you for being nice to her, and she won't hate you for being mean to her. That's the kind of princess she is.
Sojiro answered that he would keep it in mind as he looked to the clock. They had been talking for a while, and lunch was almost over.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
Huh? I didn't have anything to discuss in the first place.
Why had Tobimaru even brought him here in the first place? Sojiro tilted his head in wonder, but shook it off to deal with the more pressing matters at hand.
I'm going to guess this is Sojiro. Also, I'll just go on. Could you stay a little longer? There's something I wanted to ask you.
Tobimaru sat up straight, having never seen Sojiro's face look so serious before. Sojiro set aside his rice ball and cleared his throat.
It's about something that happened yesterday.
He spoke solemnly. And as carefully as possible, he recounted what had occurred the night before.
Alright, I think this is a good point for us to take a break. A lot of us have been reading for quite a while. So,
Alright.
Yeah, good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
Got a little raspy there.
Oh, stretching.
So, thoughts from you two, Erin and Nancy, since Kanye and I already know the story at the very least. And chat, how's everyone feeling about the story so far?
We love autistically coded main pro tags. I was gonna say it, and I was like, Erin's not saying it. I'm gonna say it.
Go for it.
Oh, it's really cute.
You know, I
don't
never
know.
really thought of Sojiro as being autistically coded, but I can't unsee it now, honestly.
Yep.
As one of the autistics, I approve.
Look, I appreciate this mode of storytelling so much. Like, I know it's shaping up to be a bit of a slow burn, but it's just
There's something about whenever one of these characters flashes like a silly expression, like Tsukiji does sometimes, after like a while of a serious one, that always gets me. I never see it coming.
It's good.
It's true. It's true.
Because it feels like it should be like this heavy, weighty story, and then suddenly everybody goes cartoony.
Yep.
I think they do that pretty well in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
game. And I think,
Mm.
but something that I always notice every time I play it or even replay it now these days is that they do a wonderfully good job to keep you visually interested. Like
Mhm.
the reflections of their faces on the table. What a
Mhm.
great way to just offer a different angle, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like there's only so
And
much you
again,
could
like
do
the
with.
movement of the models too.
Oh yeah, the parallax animation is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say that. It takes me by surprise, right? I don't expect just randomly super dynamic parallax animation to just happen. And it's not even it's not the simple stuff either. Like they pan and they twist the camera and it's like, what? That was complicated. That was elegant. That was nice.
Mhm.
You know what's the craziest part about all that?
What?
This was released in 2012,
What?
right?
Oh yeah, this game is old.
I feel old. What?
I somehow had in my head it was even older than that.
Huh. So the fact that they had the sort of parallax animation then
And
really
it
just
still surpasses most visual novel type things now.
yeah. And I think it leads credence to the way that I think this visual novel presents a story because it's a text on the entire monitor where, you know, most visual novels now have like that little box at the bottom where all the dialogue happens or even the
Mm-hmm.
narration. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
which is fine, but I think I wonder if having this style here lends it the ability to be a little bit more creative with how you animate the entire thing, or if it's just a stylistic choice from Type Moon, which it honestly could be because I don't I I haven't played it yet, but I think oh what is that one visual novel? It also has a very similar style to this. It's right at the tip of my tongue. I think it's
I've the only one that comes to mind is Skime remake.
well that's also Type Moon. So a-
Sure.
and even the original Tsukihime also had this, but no, it was. I think it's like the same art style as Higurashi, but it's something, but it's not like that horror based.
Oh, you mean Echo?
Yes, that's it. Okay, I'm glad you remembered. Yeah, so every time I see something from Umineko, all their screenshots are like that too, where the sprites are a lot bigger and the background is like this, and the text covers most of the screen, just like this game.
You mean like that? Tsukimi remake is more like this, but kind of better actually. The original Tsukimi is like the old style like visual novels. I think it's a difference between either adventure style or something else.
There's
'Cause
definitely a lot more. It's been a long time since I played the original, but the original it was like this, where it was mostly backgrounds. You actually didn't see a lot of the character sprites, honestly, because it was a lot of
Hmm,
like first person narration from Tonoshiki.
yeah.
Um, and there was almost no animation. It was like fade in, fade out sort of style. So they've real. I don't. I haven't played Fate Stay Night, uh, that visual novel, so I don't know what that animation was like. But they've really come a long way, and yeah, I don't know how the Tsukihime remake is like, but since it's way newer, I would hope that it'd be a lot better than Mahoyo. You know.
Oh, it certainly is, man.
Did that one come out with a English localization already?
It's
Or is it
I
fan
think it's
translated?
I think the English localization is coming out sometime this year.
Oh, that's good.
Hmm?
Yeah, because
Let's see.
we waited years and
Arriving
years.
summer 2024.
Nice. Oh, sweet. That's great. I might have to pick that up then. Because, yeah, Mohoyo or Witch on the Holy Night took so long to have an English localization. Like, I think the first one came out 2 years ago on the Switch? Or was it last year? Was it really last year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah, gosh. So, yeah, 2023. It took 9 years. And to make it worse, the people who has been trying so desperately to make a fan translation still never finished it in that time.
No
Which I have a
way.
lot of words for, but whatever.
Aw.
It is
Hey,
what it
shout
is.
out. Shay, all I'll say is shout out to the people who translated all of Tsukimi remake before the official one came out within like 2-3 months.
Wow.
Holy
Wow,
cow.
yeah.
Where was that team? How come they didn't do Mahoyo?
I know it wasn't exactly 2-3 months, but it was less than a year.
Yeah, that's still crazy.
Agreed.
All right. I think we're good to go. If you guys are.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. So next up in narration, I will have you, Kanye, to do the narration again. Would that
All
be
right.
good? Okay. I'll just read this line. I don't know who it is. Shizuki, you in here?
It was 10 to 12, and lunchtime was quickly coming to an end. Her face popped into Class C, as lively as ever, as if it were an everyday occurrence. Aoka Awazaki announced her presence.
Oh, okay. That's not me anymore. Erin, if I could have you do Aoko.
Okay.
While Aoka wasn't part of Class C, she didn't let it bother her as she casually entered the classroom. In contrast, the baby birds who had been so noisily chirping while eating the lunch quickly quieted and began to rearrange their seats.
Are they trying to tell me something?
She bristled internally before looking around the room. She could not see the male student she had come here to find. He hardly stood out, so she thought he might have been hidden in the corner somewhere, but that appeared to not be the case.
Arisato, do you have any idea where Shizuki from seat 12 is?
Aoko kept her tone professional.
Nancy, if you could.
Wait, me? Shizuki left with His Highness Tobimaru a while ago.
So,
Boy was in shock that she actually knew his name.
whatever.
I'm
Just
a
a
boy.
very feminine sounding boy. That's okay.
It's okay.
He's just a young
Fine.
guy.
True.
One might think that the reason the students referred to Tobimaru's Tsukiji by a royal title was because he was the chairman's son, but it was because he actually acted like royalty. In fact, the vice president was said to have taken a liking to that title.
He's with Tobimaru? Are those two friends or something?
She seemed surprised. Class seemed surprised at her surprise.
Go for it again, Nancy.
No idea. But we've never seen Tsukiji be that friendly with another boy before. Well, maybe Kinomi, but he's an idiot, so that hardly counts.
I'll do this one. Yeah, his highness was slow to warm to him, but since the third day, it's been nothing but friendly arguments. Kanye, you do this one.
Well, you can't really help but like Shizuki. He may be a little odd, but he's good people.
Aaron.
Totally. Sochiro's really nice.
Having recomposed themselves, Class C started chatting again. Aoka listened for a bit before turning around and leaving the class with a later.
Later.
All the Sojiro talk finished as quickly as it started. Lunchtime was coming to a close in the student council room. Sojiro, having told the story, was smiling in satisfaction. Tobimaru was still sitting across from him and was frowning.
So, what do you think?
Sojiro told his yarn as best as he could.
I don't think I've ever heard
Told
that phrase.
his yarn?
told his yarn as
Usually
best
it's
as
like
he could.
spun a yarn.
Yeah, that is not a phrasing I have ever heard before.
Okay, let's see. What does Colin's dictionary tell us? Okay. It says spin a yarn. Spin a yarn, spin a yarn, spin a
Yeah.
yarn. Yeah. Yeah, I think the one thing that always irks me about this visual novel is that sometimes there's just random things that don't make sense. And I think you might remember that from last time too. There was like that one misspelled word or a slightly off grammar thing that just threw everyone off. And
Oh yeah.
this is one of them too. Just
I guess Merriam-Webster does list to tell a yarn as one of them.
yeah, I'm
Hmm.
well. Oh, I guess it's kind of like spinning a story. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, spinning a yarn or spinning a. I guess spinning a web is usually considered something of storytelling, but
Mhm.
it has like malicious connotations to it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, with that, I was about to say that's what my streams are about, but the only thing you don't learn anything in my streams. You already
There's tons
know.
of yarns in your streams.
Many yarns.
Too
Sweet
many
yarns.
irons in the fire.
The kind of yarns that a kitten would play with.
That's a reference that only few would get.
Ow! Okay.
Oh no! Wait, is
Yup.
it the one I'm thinking of?
Maybe. Tobimaru fingered his brow as he was angry or concerned.
Another phrasing that's a bit off. I understand
Phrasing.
what they're going for. I understand what they're trying to go for here.
Hopefully the brow had a good time.
And consented.
Hopefully.
Sonoji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sonoji, are you trying to make fun of me? A word of advice. Leave that to us smart people.
Hey, that's
Take-
mean.
Take that back. I'm more clever than you think.
His response only confirmed Tobimaru's suspicion. It had to be one of two possible conclusions. That what Sojiro had just told him was true, or that Sojiro was so tired that he must have been hallucinating at that time. Tobimaru sincerely hoped it was the latter. To be honest, Sojiro, you're growing on me. Anybody that never lies can't really be considered human.
Jeez.
So, for a misanthrope like me, I suppose you could say it's easy to like you. But if you're gonna stick to your dumb story, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for lunch starting tomorrow.
Why not just eat in the cafeteria?
Hearing his suggestion, Tobimaru's face darkened. Okay, I'll spell it out for you. You were hallucinating. If you still insist you saw a ghost, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to a good psychiatrist.
So that's your take on it. Good to know.
As bitter as Tobimaru's words might have sounded to most, Sojiro swallowed them all.
I already figured as much. Sounds like a tall tale to me too. I was starting to wonder if it was normal for that kind of thing to go on in a city, so I wanted to hear your opinion.
Satisfied, Sojiro finished off his last rice bowl and neatly folded the cloth. Hey, hold on a second. You didn't actually think it was normal for people in the city to breathe fire or extend their arms like they were made of rubber, did you?
Well, not normal, as much as within the realm of possibility. This city is full of extraordinary things we don't have up in the mountains. I thought it might have some extraordinary people as well.
That his face was as serious as it made Tobimaru realize just how big of a culture shock Sojiro must have been experiencing. Living up in the mountains, with no electricity, in a place where the night sky was as it always had been, where humans were just one more organism in nature's garden, it makes sense that those conditions would create a boy like him. The idea of children growing up so pure was an appealing one, but maybe it was natural to forego civilization when your population was so small. Or perhaps it was so simple a world that excessive knowledge was deemed irrelevant. It was precisely because city life offered him so much that was impossible up until now they had come to the conclusion that anything was possible here. Relax. The city might have its share of shady guys, but none of them are magicians in disguise.
I hope you're right.
Listen, there isn't some witch on this holy night.
Roll credits!
There you go.
Are you telling me there's a witch on this holy night?
That's crazy.
Seriously? No.
But Sojiro seemed unsure. And on Tobimaru's part, there were things to Sojiro's story that he found hard to swallow. Whether true or not, the incident Sojiro had described was disturbing. For the time being, let's assume what you say actually happened. That would ultimately mean that one of your school students killed someone in the park last night, and that neither of their parties involved were normal. As a newcomer to town, Sojiro assured that everyone his age was a student at the school. For better or for worse, he was right. One of them was equipped with a flamethrower, while the other had a nagata, or at least a bladed weapon resembling one that was a good few feet in length. Sojiro bobbed his head up and down as he listened to the disbelief in Tobimaru's voice. Hearing it repeated by someone else, he could see how someone might think he was taking them for a ride. Thanks,
Look,
man.
I'm not crazy. It really did happen, like I said.
Give it to me straight, Sojiro. You're pulling my leg, aren't you?
Sorry, I just had a bit of an epiphany. This is still, I think, like late 80s or early 90s. So him calling Sojiro Sonoji, I can actually see working in that time period.
Yeah.
Oh dear. You're right.
Wow. Huh, okay. Anyway, sorry. No, I'm not. But I get it. There's no one in the city who can do that. Right? If not, I was probably just hallucinating, like you said. Working part-time while studying for exams has been pretty tiring. Or trying, rather.
Winter break was just around the corner, and the end of term exams were but a week away. But both were proving formidable opponents for Sojiro.
Do
I
you
don't
want
e-
one of us to take the narration, by the way, if this scene keeps going on for a while longer?
Sure.
It is a lot for you, isn't it? I'll actually take care of the narration this time around, since Sojiro doesn't really say much.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do this one, and then I'll figure out who does Sojiro next. I don't even know the basics, so I need to study twice as hard as everyone else. I mean, anyone would start to lose it if they did nothing but study, right?
I wouldn't say you're losing it, but you're definitely pushing yourself too hard. Maybe cut back on work a bit until exam's over.
Let me just flip a coin. Okay, Aaron, could you be Sojiro?
I've tried to cut back, but a lot of people take off at the end of the year, so they often ask me to fill in their shifts.
He shrugged helplessly. It was obvious from his words that he had been busy. Even if he was not going crazy, a lack of sleep could have caused him to daydream, even if this all did go down in the middle of the night.
Sounds tough, Sojiro.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough.
Yeah, city life has been exhausting.
Sojiro nodded with a pained look on his face. What was strange, however, was that he did not look the least bit tired.
I'm impressed you never complain about it. You always look like nothing bothers you at all.
Well, that's just because it isn't bad enough to bother me.
As he answered, Sojiro looked up at the clock on the wall. Lunchtime was almost over.
Tobimaru, the time.
Oops.
It's time to feed the dog. Can't you hear
Time to
them?
feed the dogs. They're hungry.
Really? Is that late already? You can go on ahead. I still have things to do.
Sojiro watched as Tobimaru made a gesture that seemed to lament the life of a student council member. His eyes looked as if they were looking at a piece of art and not understanding its value.
I'm jealous that you can just skip class whenever you want. I would have thought you were a stickler for the rules.
How many times do I have to tell you? It's not skipping when I've got special permission.
The vice president angrily defended himself as he stood up. The transfer student merely gazed at him, unfazed.
Hey, you're not honestly implying you still don't understand after all that, are you? Oh, well, just sit down and listen, Sonoji. I was granted talent and luck beyond that of most people, but I always put the work in. Once I leave here, I'm on my own. Now do you get it? I'm sick of explaining this to people. My family status will only keep me afloat for one more year. What about that could you possibly envy? Most people can live off privilege for their entire lives, but the best I get is 3 measly years. So I have to take advantage of what I have while I have it. Just the thought of having to count beans for the rest of the idiots out there gets me livid. The adult world is going to kill me. Maybe alone will be enough to destroy my fragile heart.
While he must have been joking, Sojiro took his tone to be completely sincere. He listened as he envied Tobimaru's ability to be so open about his feelings. From his frame of reference, there was nothing he could do but take Tobimaru for his word. Alright, this time, Nancy.
If you're looking to extend your privileges, why not stay in school? I'd be more than happy to arrange that for you.
The door to the student council room flew open, washing away Sojiro's half-hearted responses to his friend. This frosty statement destroyed the warm atmosphere of the room. And it also marked the abrupt end to Tobimaru Tsukichi's reign there.
No, I just meant that our dreams are something we take hold of ourselves.
That's you,
Is
Nancy.
this also me?
Yes.
Really? Then why not spend more time on that than this pathetic display? I could hear you all the way from the hallway, Mr. Vice President.
Not missing a beat, Aoko Aozaki stepped inside the room. Her dark hair was slightly disheveled as she had been running. Her gaze missed the sitting Sojiro entirely and was focused completely on the ranting vice president.
Good luck, Tobimaru.
Sojiro quickly got up to head back to his classroom.
That's cold, man.
Tobimaru grumbled in front of Aoko.
But it's almost time for class.
You just proved my point.
He cut himself off. Aoko briefly shifted her gaze to Sojiro.
It's not like I have time for this either, you know. It feels like I'm always having to clean up after you.
Not a complaint. It was her honest opinion.
Wait, you're here for Sojiro?
Don't worry, I'll deal with you next.
Her eyes shimmered with a murderous glee. It was slightly different from the more sullen gaze to which Tobimaru had grown accustomed. For whatever reason, Aoko's mood seemed worse than usual.
Shizuki, which do you prefer? Running or swimming?
Aoko asked abruptly. Sojiro frowned a little before saying he was fine with either one.
That won't do. Pick one.
Swimming, I guess. Why do you ask?
Because you still haven't joined a club.
A succinct reply. One that left no room for Sojiro to object.
You've read the school regulations. All students must participate in club activities. I'm not the biggest fan of it myself, to be honest, but a rule is a rule.
That's crazy. How could I possibly find the time for that?
How indeed.
An equally terse response. She was typically to the point, but Tobimaro got the impression that she was expressly trying to keep her interaction with Sojiro short. They stared at each other in silence. Tobimaro stood breathlessly silent on the sidelines until Sojiro broke the impasse.
I thought you, of all people, would understand, Aozaki. I mean, of course you do. That's what makes you strong.
Sojiro stood up from his seat. He walked past Awako and into the hallway.
Do you mind if I start tomorrow?
Whatever works for you, Shizuki.
He did his best to force a smile before leaving the student council room.
That was nicely animated, wow.
Right?
Right.
They really knew how to keep the tension like really strong there. I'll continue the narration for a little while longer then. But do you want to take a little bit of a break, Kanye? You've been doing a lot of the reading.
I'm fine.
All right. We'll keep the roles the same for now then. And then maybe at some point I'll have you take over for me for narration, Eryn.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. While watching the events play out, Tobimaro found himself deeply impressed with Sojiro. He could tell from Aoko's behavior that she was trying to get a rise out of Sojiro. Sojiro, on the other hand, didn't react. Heedless of what Aoko was doing, he simply went on his way. To Tobimaro, it was hard to believe that Sojiro had not taken offense. From his point of view, Sojiro's poker face had been the performance of a lifetime.
The kid has some balls, huh, President?
He looked at Aoko curiously. Aoko...
Exactly what I was saying earlier about the faces.
You know what I like? The little cursor that shows up at the end of the text sometimes is perfectly positioned to look like it's a sweat.
Yeah,
Like a little ball
yeah.
of
You're
sweat.
right,
Uh-huh.
it does. Aoko stood completely still, staring at the wall. How do you?
Hey, Aozaki?
Aoko showed no response.
Yo, President. Everything Aozaki. Come in, come in. Lady Aoko? I'm talking to you, Aoko Aozaki!
Enough with the ow already, God!
Her fury echoed across the student council room. It was a beautiful sound that could be heard into the hallway and made Tobimaro's rant from earlier pale in comparison.
Who's talking, Miss Megaphone?
Perhaps her shouting was still ringing in his ears, or he was just the type to answer a shout with a shout, but he shot back reflexively. Okay, Eryn, I'll go ahead and have you do the rest.
Yeah, sure.
No wonder you can't get a boyfriend. Do I have your attention now?
I could hear you before. I was just ignoring you because you were annoying me, and I thought it'd be easier than getting you to shut up.
You've got some nerve. Am I a mosquito to you?
A mosquito would offer better company, so no.
What exactly is that supposed to mean?
we never see eye to eye. Talking to you is like going on a date, both pointless activities.
Based on that statement, Aoko must have been under the assumption that dating was the act of two lovers whispering nonsense to each other.
The real question is, what the hell qualifies you as company to you? But whatever. You're awfully harsh today, Aozaki.
Maybe a little. This isn't exactly the time to make nice.
Funny you mention that. I haven't seen you try to be civil at all in the last 2 years.
Oh, I'm always civil, just not when you're in the same room.
So that's how it is. You're still upset with me for what happened, aren't you?
There was only one thing that Tobimaru could be talking about. The incident that occurred in the student council room this past summer.
Huh? Isn't that ancient history at this point? Don't you think you should stop wasting brain power on this? I mean, you've got so few brain cells to work with as it is.
God, Aoko is like the sharpest weapon of all time.
I was gonna say, this back and forth between the two of you has been fantastic so far.
Thanks for letting me play her at this pivotal moment.
It's so good.
Do you feel you're relieving a bit of stress doing this, Nancy?
I feel like I am. I feel like I'm channeling some like truly deeply seated snark through her.
Oh, that's great.
As the conversation wore on, Aoko's murderous aura began to fade, and her sharp gaze gave way to a calmer demeanor rarely seen from her. It was quite possible that nobody besides Tobimaru had ever seen this side of her at school before.
Thanks for the concern. Psych. And for the record, it's not like I want to relive it either.
Oh
That is
man,
accurate
psych
90s
shows up in the
phrasing,
script. Oh.
It's just, when Sonoji was being an idiot earlier, it kind of reminded me of how I went down. Come to think of it, this is the room it happened in.
Despite his ranting, his face betrayed a touch of nostalgia. Aoko, on the other hand, was scowling.
Hold on. You didn't tell him about what happened, did you?
Sure did. At least how you mocked me in candidacy for president, and told me my face had sidekick written all over it, and the part where I took the bait and tried my damnedest to punch you for it.
Aoko let out a sigh, as if relieved that Tobimaru had not told Sojiro the rest of the story. Even she wasn't sure why.
I'll admit, that was quite a punch though. It was enough to make me react on reflex. Did I really say that, by the way?
You sure did. Not only that, after I was taken to the infirmary, you had the balls to tell me you did me a favor by forcing me to be your number 2.
Since that day, Tobimaru had served as the vice president to the person who'd usurped the role from him.
It's fine, though. President's chair doesn't suit me anyway. Feel much more at home as a vice president. Her job would have been probably turn me into my dad.
Your pride's never allowed you to give anything less than your best. You might be a little too comfortable in the student council, though. Makes me wonder how you would have looked as an honor student.
Don't even go there. Even thinking about it gives me the creeps. Having one wolf in sheep's clothing around here is bad enough.
Tobimaru shooed Aoko away like an annoying pest. It was a typical example of the crude verbal abuse they exchanged on a daily basis, with a witness that only two longtime foes could manage. With a wittiness.
Mm-hmm.
So, why did you tell him?
Tell who what?
Why did you tell him what happened between you and me?
Oh, that. I was trying to put a stop to the nonsense he was spewing and,
He stopped himself before he said any more. He knew better than to let slip the fact that Sojiro had a thing for Aoko. Everyone knew guys didn't sell each other out like that. Even if it was all, in truth, a misunderstanding.
Anyway, what the hell was that before, Aozaki? It's some grudge you've got against Sojiro.
I'm not some princess who goes around holding grudges for something that happened over a week ago, you know.
He wanted to retort that she was more like a queen than a princess. But he'd come to know her too well over the past 2 years to dig himself into a hole like that.
Okay. So why did you pick a fight with him? I mean, he does throw you off when you talk to him, but it's not an evil bone in his body. Wow. Why are you looking at me like you just stepped on a turd?
Oh, no big reason. Hearing you say that, I was just thinking that I've never met such a despicable person in my life.
Well, whatever. So, he's a good guy. Well, whatever. So he's a good guy. That makes him the perfect person to pick a fight with. That's Alka.
That is Aoko, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy?
Nancy?
Oh, hello?
Yeah,
Hello.
we're just
I think
realizing that
that's
this is
Aoko's
Aoko's line.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because
Huh.
it's like it's saying something about like makes him the perfect person to pick a fight with.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah, I
like she's
couldn't-
trying to justify why she is so prickly with him.
I guess. Yeah, that totally threw me off. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't flow quite from the one page to the next.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, whatever. So he's a good guy. That makes him the perfect person to pick a fight with. If nobody else will do it, the job falls to me, right?
She said casually, having regained her composure.
You just can't help yourself, huh?
Tobimaru could not follow her reasoning at all. Tobimaru was used to Aoko's erratic trains of thought, but hating Sojiro for no reason seemed needlessly cruel. His friend's naive and innocent face came to mind. And then he blurted,
But Sojiro's taking a shine to you, Aozaki. How can you hate him knowing that?
A shine.
his vow of silence had lasted not even 2 minutes.
What I meant was,
He tried to take it back, but it was too late. She had heard his words loud and clear. All he could hope for now was that she would take it well.
Because I like what I like and dislike what I don't like. Just because he wants to be friends doesn't mean I have to suddenly like him.
Stone cold Aoko.
Jesus!
Tobimaru found himself filled with indignation at how detached Aoko was being.
don't you get it? This isn't just about friendship. I didn't mean he only likes you either. Believe me when I say that Sonoji really has a thing for you.
He shouted, his face the embodiment of sincerity.
Meanwhile, everyone down the hall can hear him.
Aoko gave him a blank stare. I guess people are in class at this point, at least.
Yeah.
It was the face of someone who had lost their wallet hours earlier and was only just realizing it now. The first instant of doubt that ushers in the reality of the situation. But an instant is all it was.
So what?
She answered coolly, as if she had no idea why it should matter to her at all.
So what? Were you born in hell? I'll assume you didn't hear me, and I'll say it again. Sojiro!
Tobimaru gave up any pretense of masculine solidarity and fired back hard.
Oh god. Don't bother. I couldn't care less.
She ruthlessly cut him off. Thinking of the boys who still harbored unrequited love for Aoko, Tobimaru tried hard to come up with a name befitting the demoness in front of him.
Now I see. So that's why you told him about our little incident. Who could have thought His Highness could be so considerate to his friends? I bet you also told him all the nasty rumors floating about me too, huh?
She laughed as a fiendish smile adorned her face. Tobimaru repented to God, whoever and wherever he or she might be, for ever bringing up Aoko's love life.
You did the right thing, Tobimaru. Now be a good little vice president and tell me every single thing you told him.
She was smiling, but Tobimaru wished she'd at least try to hide the bloodlust.
Just two things, really. Story you're most infamous for, and what happened in this room.
Aoko nodded with satisfaction as she listened to Tobimaru's hesitant answer.
Rumors like those can come in handy sometimes. You can use them to chase off annoying people. Just be careful about who you tell, okay?
Had this been in writing, the chillingly sweet tone of her words could have been signed with a heart.
I'm so glad you're doing this narration. I don't think I would have been able to deliver this as solemnly and as like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you're obviously having fun telling this in the most professional way ever.
I agree.
Thank you. I am having fun telling this. Whether angry or happy, Aozaki spoke in a disturbingly cute manner when she was in a heightened emotional state. Tobimaru took note of his new discovery, aware that it did nothing to get him out of this situation.
Don't worry, I value my life, so I'll shut up. But, Aozaki, do you really hate Sojiro that much?
He knew that it was a topic he would be better off avoiding, but he tried asking anyway. The bonds between men at times shine more beautifully than a pearl.
Why did they have to say pearl? Well, I might not like him, but that doesn't mean I hate him. I'm not even sure why I feel the way I do. Which is probably the problem.
Perhaps to placate Tobimaru, Aoko paused in contemplation before she answered. Giving it a moment without immediately blurting out a response meant that not even he could complain.
Huh. I guess that makes sense. As much as emotional arguments can make sense, there's nothing I can do if neither of you understand why you feel the way you do.
Thinking that would be the end of it, Tobimaru looked toward the ceiling and silently apologized to Sojiro. However, his final sentence appeared to have piqued Aoko's interest.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Her faux cheer had vanished. Failing to pick up on this, Tobimaru answered nonchalantly.
Oh, nothing. Just that Sojiro also said he wasn't exactly sure why he liked you, or more like there was no particular reason for how he felt, I think.
Tobimaru was still in disbelief that Sojiro had been charmed by Aoko's appearance, so he purposefully left that part out.
He said he likes me? For no reason?
Yeah, I mean, I even told him about all the rumors around you, and it had no effect on him whatsoever. What did he say again? Oh, right. He's gone and on about how genuine your concern for him was, and how it really helped him. It's almost too mushy for me to repeat out loud. All I can say is that, unlike the other boys, rumors didn't faze him in the least.
Tobimaru finally noticed the shift in Aoko's demeanor. She was scowling at the wall. She glared at it in silence like it was her worst enemy, and this continued for several minutes.
What the hell is that? Why can't I shake the feeling that I've heard all this before somewhere?
Vibration.
Yikes. Oh, God.
So great was her ire that the gnashing of her teeth was audible. The irritation seethed until it reached the point that Aoko forgot Tobimaru was even in the room. Tobimaru looked heavenward for forgiveness, sensing that he'd brought further calamity down upon Sojiro's head.
I kind of get it now. I think I know why I don't like him.
Tobimaru looked away as if to indicate that he'd rather not know, but Aoko ignored him and began to grumble venomously.
The way he acts and talks reminds me of someone I despise. Like how everyone thinks he's an angel and how nothing seems to bother him. Maybe it's how good he is at getting on my nerves.
Glancing idly up at the clock, Tobimaru thought that last part just sounded like misplaced anger. And that was that. 1 o'clock had come and gone.
Fine.
I think this is. Yeah, this is Tobimaru.
I think
Yeah,
so
okay.
too.
Fine, I get it. Sorry I said anything. So you need me for anything? Class has already started, you know.
Huh? What do you mean by class? When did it...
The bell rang right after soon as you left, around the time you were busy being pissed off at a wall. Tell me, Miss President, are you allowed to miss 5th period?
Of course I'm not! Why didn't you say something?
She looked like she was on the verge of tears as she shouted and pulled at his necktie. Tobimaru raised his hands in mock surrender, a gesture reserved only for the true victor.
Jeez.
Consider this revenge for saying I was worse than a mosquito. Hopefully you've learned your lesson, oh devilish, oh hellish demon that feasts upon the hearts of men.
You're so petty, you know that? You're supposed to repay insults with insults, you coward!
She tightened his necktie around his wrist with a yank.
You know, other people would say this is a good time.
Oh god, some people would pay for this.
The vice president smiled a thuggish grin, as if her reaction
Ow.
made his victory that much sweeter.
It's no secret you head into remedial classes, and I don't have to tell you who teaches Class A during 5th period. Old bad Fujishiro's going to have your head.
Fujishiro had one of the longest tenures at the school, so it was only natural she would be in charge of teaching the classics.
This is where you stop yanking on my tie and haul ass to your classroom. I won't even try to stop you. Am I not merciful? Ah!
Damn it all! I can't believe you of all people pulled one over on me! Just die already!
She choked him even harder with his necktie.
Ooh.
As Aoko put words into action and mercilessly strangled Tobimaru, he saw his life flash before his eyes. Oh.
Oh, look at that!
Wait, stop! I'm gonna die! Isn't it too late? Do you want them to mark you absent?
Aoko glanced up at the clock. It was still only 1:07. Her route was from the student council room on the 2nd floor to the Class A classroom on the 3rd floor. If she ran, she could make it.
That was one hell of a sentence.
I got lost kind of partway through. I hope I hung on enough.
Yeah, I had to reread it.
I'll let you live, Tobimaru. This time.
Alko clicked her tongue disappointedly. What disturbed Tobimaru was that it didn't sound like an empty threat.
Be here after school. I actually do have something I need you to do.
She was halfway out of the room before she even finished her sentence. Finally all alone, Tobimaru closed the open door, locked it, and slumped into a chair.
I think I'll go ahead and take over the narration. You've done a fantastic job delivering all of that.
Yes,
It's
you
very
did.
fun.
Yeah, that was really
That was
good.
amazing.
All right.
Never a dull moment without Zaki around, that's for sure.
He leaned back into the creaky folding chair and let out a sigh. The weather outside was beautiful, but the sunlight waned early in the winter. Before long, daylight would fade, and the unheated student council room would grow colder and colder. All of the good equipment, like the heater, had ended up in the main office, so he had no choice but to settle in for a chilly afternoon.
If only this weather would last. Shame the forecast predicted more clouds.
After his somewhat suggestive monologue, Tobimaru's mind drifted. He idly wondered to himself whether Sojiro was an outcast day or a clear day sort of guy, but no answers came. All right, I think that's a good time for another break. Fantastic job. How are you two feeling about the story so far? How do you like that dynamic?
That was fun.
That was fun. That exchange was just fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think when you get to see people have that sort of exchange in any medium, whether it in a visual novel or even in an anime, it's always fun. It's great. It's entertaining. But I feel like with this particular
Longtime
medium,
frenemies is a very good vibe.
oh for sure,
Mhm. That's what it feels like, yeah.
I think the way that this visual novel portrayed Aoko's anger building up was really well done. I think I really liked the vibration that they did when she was just seething in anger.
Yeah, that I feel like I feel like we need like a little emote that we animate for your channel of just like that, just the little like super micro vibrating.
It could be done. I might
I
do that
hope.
sometime.
I might ask you your secrets so I can try and turn my knife emote into that.
Have you heard of the program called Screen to GIF, Nancy?
Yes, I have.
I was thinking about trying that.
Oh, that might work.
So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm trying to think about how much longer this goes, and it might be maybe an extra hour, but at that point that'd be getting closer to 10, and that's usually a little bit past when I like to go on for. So
Yeah,
maybe
it's already 10 where I am right
Yeah,
now.
it's 10 where we are, so
yeah. So for now, let me go ahead place a bookmark here.
Oh, fancy.
a bookmark.
Instead of just a save point, it's a.
It's a
Wait, hold on.
novel. You gotta have a bookmark.
I do like the UI. I really like the UI a lot, honestly. It's
Mhm.
so well animated.
It is.
But yeah, it's stuff like this that always makes me like so attracted to a game like this, that it knows how to really keep people in, you know?
Mhm.
Like-
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I want to go longer, but I unfortunately can't stay up too much later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and I think
totally
we did
fair.
That's
start.
fair.
Yeah, we did
'Cause
start a
this
bit
is a
late
very
too.
fun novel to stream with y'all.
Yeah.
I
also-
feel like I could accidentally get lost in this game and forget
Mhm.
what time it is.
Yeah. So the funny thing is when this was being released on PlayStation and Switch, I actually had to consider for a while, and then I realized if I play this on the Switch on my bed, that's totally fine. For me, it'd almost be like reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out well, perfectly that way.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the PC port, but if you decide to get the game, I really do recommend getting the Switch version, if you have a Switch. If you don't, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you then.
Aw, boo.
But with that said, everyone, I think this is actually where we are going to call it. Thank you, Kanye, Aaron, and Nancy for joining me.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having
Thank you for
us.
having us.
And perhaps
Yeah.
we'll make this more of a regular thing since this is genuinely nice. It's a good visual novel and I enjoy. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, fine. No more being mushy. Fine.